2, 1. That's actually episode 10 of ours, Adi.
Really?
Yeah, I think you jumped in on episode 4, though. I did 3 without you. And then I got you. And Reza, I see today is going to be busy. And beautiful. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for our very raw, unfiltered, unscripted talks that are doing a lot better than when we started, but we're still going to get them a lot further. And sooner or later, Adi, when you start dancing in a bikini on YouTube, we will go viral. We're just waiting
Thank you.
for that day.
Thank you. This is my no makeup Thursday. Okay,
You look
which I
gorgeous,
thought was
babes.
quite important. And I've been holding out. I've had no makeup day for a long time, and I think that's what guys should do: is no makeup.
And you look the part. You look gorgeous, babes.
Thanks. Thank you.
How do you tell us about your week? What happened?
I had a great week. I believe that we should create childhoods for our children that we see as something we wanted, and so we went camping and caravanning, camping, braaiing, kids on bicycles. Really, really nice. My wife was there, friends were there. We got home safely, and it was 10 out of 10.
Beautiful. Like I said just before we went live, it's always good to not kill yourself at these things. That's always a win, to come back alive.
You see, the operating heavy machinery like the caravan, that thing weighs a couple tons, and I have quite a steep driveway. And so it is an operation of clinical precision to get that thing onto the car carefully. I mean, the driveway is, the thing parks on the driveway. There's no room for error. It has these movers, very smart. It's like a remote control. But the movers connect onto the wheels. You take the brakes off, and then the movers are the brakes, but then the one sort of popped off, so then it kind of rolled a little bit. So the point is if both of them pop, you're completely screwed. I mean, that thing is coming at you. So the whole thing, even when you get back, you have to put it on bricks because that the kids don't go underneath it, and the whole thing is one massive safety operation.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also, you know what, it's also beautiful to do these things and the kids actually watch that you can do it and that you don't have to get other people to do the certain stuff, because that just sets a precedence that that they also can grow up and man up on certain things, and they don't have to always look for hiring people or calling people and being able to do things. And also, a lot of people don't do things out of the fear of thinking that they can't do it. And it's a great thing. And I see this in business all the time, even with my business. Everything they say can't do, takes forever, what, and this much, and costs, and can't be done. I send off one email and I somehow figure out how to get it done. And, the same in your personal life is like, a lot of people don't go camping because they actually just cannot figure out how to attach the trailer to the whole basis of getting to the event to even enjoy the event. And that has a deeper meaning also in business. Like I said, in business, certain people just don't get to the certain things to make those certain things happen to enjoy, because they have this fear of I can't do it. I just cannot do it. And that's a phenomenal thing to teach your children from a young age. But with that said, I actually wrote down 3 very good things I want to talk about this week. Great ones, though. And you know the last video we did where we went unfiltered, do you know how many people are actually loving that? So clearly there seems to be a version of us that people actually want than us trying to be all cute, and they want us to be natural. And obviously we got a few people saying about, oh, how could you guys be so vulgar? And they completely missed the
Really,
point of, they
really,
completely missed the,
you must delete
yeah,
those
but
people.
they
No,
were,
I'm joking.
you
I'm
know what,
joking. I'm joking. It's
you
fine.
know what I thought, you know what I
It's
find
fine.
beautiful about
It's
those
fine if
people?
they
And
digs. It's fine.
they can dig. And you know what I find about those people? They miss the complete point of what it is that we were trying to say. Meanwhile, a lot of people, 99% of the people that watched what we were trying to say, said that's a very interesting and very appreciative for you saying it that way. And the only thing the people that obviously live in a negative state, therefore their opinion is always negative, their perspective is always negative. The only thing they watch when they watch your videos is that negativeness and overlooking what it is that you're trying to say. And fantastic that you yet again did something pathetic which had nothing to do with you, and you somehow brought it into other people's world. And you know what? I also, I was actually talking to someone the other day. I said, it's so fascinating that the people that tell you, I do not care what people think about me, are always the people that have the opinions and want to tell everybody else what they think of those other people. Like, just give it a break. If you don't care, then please don't voice your opinion and get it back that people just don't care.
And also, people get insulted way too quickly. We must
Well,
we must train ourselves not to get insulted so quickly. Oh, he turned. He didn't indicate. You didn't indicate. Who taught you how to
yeah,
drive? It's so crazy that people are constantly getting insulted. He didn't say please. She didn't. She spoke out of turn. I'm insulted. I'm insulted. You see, the key to joy is to not have an expectation, to be grateful for everything around you, and as such, you are not going to get insulted so quickly. It's when you
you're
have an
not going to take
expectation.
things. You were saying the expectation?
No, I'm saying then we say something, and instead of going, look at those guys having a bit of a jaw, love those guys. Go on, chaps. Go on. Throw that thing on that
Yeah.
person's head. Have a bit of fun. Instead of, how can you be so horrible?
Yeah, but they take everything so personally, and they also, the perfect analogy of what you said. Do you know what life is in essence? In one perfect example, you getting offended at the person turning in front of you because they didn't indicate. Meanwhile, you don't look at the fact that you're driving so close to them that them indicating you would bother you, and not thinking about what you're doing, but always having this consistent negative approach to everything, that everything you watch and say and hear has to be done in such a negative tone because of your negative approach to reality. And no matter what you try and say and do and help these people, I called someone cute. Cute. It was the nicest way of just being friendly, of like a hey, hi. It was like a little meme, even. Hey, just popping in to say, you're still cute. How can you call a woman cute? Well, I'm thinking of taking back my 10 cents of data by even trying to be nice to you. And that is something that offended you rather than the fact that you could have just said something, oh, hey, hi, you, thank you for saying something nice. If your analysis of the word cute is in such a negative way of approaching it, that comes from an internal approach within you. And that just is what's become with everybody that's watching things. I see all sorts of things on social media. And also, you know what? I'm going to play devil's advocate. I also used to get very annoyed at certain things. And I started realizing that just because I had a bad moment, I must now somehow portray a badness within watching somebody else living well on social media, or that they had a good experience. And ever since I had that kind of realization, like you said, not having that personal expectation that they're living their life to the way that they're living their life, therefore my misconstruing of the situation does not have to be voiced. So, but that's redundant to the three things I wanted to talk about. And you know what? And actually, it's not. Actually, you know what? It's not, because it actually, one of the things I wanted to talk about actually ties into so much within the internal acknowledgement and enlightenment of myself. Is that, somebody annoyed me the other day, and that other person that was with me, and they said, don't you just regret doing nice things for certain? No, what did they say? They said, no good deed ever goes unpunished. And I thought to myself, is that, yes, as much as I do regret doing things for the wrong people, I have often done very nice things for people that I regretted in hindsight. I don't regret giving and doing things for people in any form, shape, or manner, because I'm a firm believer the only goodness that you can do and the only wealth you can have is how much you spread it and how much you care for others through it. But I do certain at times regret doing certain nice things for the wrong people. And then I stopped to think to myself, Adi, and you're my brother, and I can openly say this to you. Do you know how many people must have felt that
Between
way
me and
about
you.
me?
Just tell me
Just
between
between
me and
me and
you.
you. Just between me and you. Do you know how many people must have felt that way about me? Because I'm in no denial, and I acknowledge the big mistakes I made in life, and the people that I let down, and the people that believed in me and wanted to believe in me and were there for me and did give for me. And I messed it up. And they must have gone home and thought, I would not piss on that guy if he was on fire. And that just makes you think. And that just makes you think every single time that I have done a good thing and regretted it,
Daddy's coming now, boy. Go, go.
daddy's coming now,
Go.
boy.
Okay, go inside, boy. Go inside.
I love it. The other day, my kid was running around here. So, to get to my point, is that as much as I regret doing the great things for the wrong people, I actually stopped for the first time in my life. And I swear this was in 40 years of my life, just before I actually said, I regret doing this thing for this person. How many people must have thought that way about me and you? I'm sure you acknowledge you made mistakes,
Interesting.
and
Yeah.
how many people have thought to themselves, wow, how much I gave this guy. And I actually just kept my mouth shut for the first time in my life, because I'm very quick to tell a guy, listen to me. I would not piss on you if you were on fire. I am very quick to tell people that. But for the first time in my life, I actually thought to myself, holy shit, do you know how many people must have felt this way about me when I let them down? And why don't I actually, for once, not voice it and do not break this individual and let him go and think to himself that he could have maybe handled the situation better? It was a very fascinating moment in my life.
Yeah. I
I'm
think
sure you've
certain
had
types
those as
of
well,
guilt.
where you've thought about
I
the
think
people
guilt. I
you've
think
let down,
guilt
the
in
people
general.
you've disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
think
people.
guilt in general is not healthy, but I think certain types of guilt can be healthy, especially if it makes you into a better person. Ultimately, we all should strive to be better people. Look, there's certain people that are nasty as heck, and they super successful. People gravitate towards them. They are leaders in their own circles. They're not particularly nice people. Okay? Fair enough. It works for them. Everything they do, they just absolutely smash it. They practically gangsters, whatever. Like hardcore. Like they're not nice people. Like I get it. Like I can't speak on their behalf. I can only speak on behalf of the circles that I hang around with, and that is that we're generally nice people. We're generally pleasant to hang around with. We're not involved in illegal stuff. We business people. We do moral business, and so within that sort of context, if you've done somebody wrong and you reflect on it, carrying a little bit of guilt can be healthy because you say, I don't want to do that again. It's not quite the right thing to do. And it's good, it's healthy to reflect on something you were saying earlier. One of the reasons why people complain so much, and one of the reasons why they feel that their opinion is so important, even though they are unimportant, is because they need a slap. That's the problem, is they need corporal punishment. There was a time where discipline meant staying in your own lane. Okay? And you needed to crack the whip. Hey bro, like, don't roll your window down. Don't tell me your nonsense. You don't know me. I don't know you. I don't need your energy in my life. Okay? And that person needs a slap. Like, stop infringing on my rights. The problem is that when participation trophies came in, when corporal punishment went out the window, then the opinionated people couldn't get punished for being opinionated and imposing their opinion on other people. And that's a problem. And look at the state of the world. It's flipping chaos, man. It's chaos where there's no discipline. There's no fear. There's no fear that if you step out of line, you're going to get a flippin' crack. I mean, they're talking about like defunding the police. Are you mental? Like, the police are there to like create law and order. Like, what do just, there's systemic abuse, and therefore the people that police, like the troublemakers, must go. And no, we must bring psychologists in. And if somebody has like, like some people like break into your house and they pour like boiling water on you, and they're like like drown you in a bath with boiling water. Like, are you supposed to, like, now you've caught the person's dead, I'm coming, I'm going to sort your dummy out. Like, you've caught the person. The granny has had boiling water poured on her. They burnt her with an iron and basically drowned her. And now you've caught the person. Who should you call? Who are you going to call? Huh? Who are you going to call?
You must talk to them.
Call. Wait a minute. My auntie's a psychologist. Phone her. This person grew up in a home where they didn't have a computer and they didn't have the opportunities you had. We need to right the wrongs of the past. Like, what is that?
And we should be okay. We should be
like,
okay with
nonsense?
what they're doing.
Yeah, so the problem is if you speak to these opinionated people, they'll sit there with a blank look on their face like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. You should get a psychologist involved. It's not their fault they burnt the person. You see, so the problem is at that moment when you realize that the person looks at you, and it's not that they're stupid, they're beyond stupid, because they actually believe that a psychologist would be the best thing in that moment. At that moment, that exact moment where you realize the penny drops, they rather want a psychologist. Bah! You got to give them a slap. That's corporal punishment, and that is what is missing in this world.
Yeah, but then they demand that you are held responsible if you do that. Now you're in the
100%.
wrong. You're now the bad
100%.
person. You're now the bad person if you do that. You know,
100%.
it's almost like
Labeled
the
an
word
abuser.
it's almost like the word appreciate. And I love the way that contextually how wrong people use this word appreciate. They use this word appreciate in the tone that if they get to say that appreciate would then take away from what they've done. You know, it's the same as I've broken into your house and I've stolen everything and I'm sorry and I would appreciate if you don't report it. As if it's like a mannerism of you've got to now be okay with them learning from their lesson, which majority of the time they don't. It's not genuine. But you've got to be okay with exactly what you're saying. You've got to now take into context. Hello, boy. And there's our special guest for the night.
Go inside. Daddy's busy. Close the door. Bye-bye. I'll give you a lollipop if you close the door nicely, okay?
And
go close the door.
and there's our special guest. And like I was saying, Adi, I'm going to break into your house and steal your shit. And I'm sorry when you catch me. Not when you don't catch me. When you catch me. And I would appreciate if you don't tell anyone. Because I've now learned, and you've got to now dig deep within you to understand that it comes from things within me. And you've got to be okay with the harm that I did to you because it was the harm that came from within me to you. It's the same as exactly what I said about that. I posted a video the other day about our last talk where I said what I said, and what the point of what we were trying to say went over a lot of people's heads. Well, not a lot of people. 99% of people liked it. Even like one of these royal family guys, for the first time ever, he actually liked liked it. I got a heart from him because he got the message we were trying to say. But I still obviously caught the negatives from the negative people. And when they said to me, why did you say what you said? And I said, whoa, wait a minute. You missed what it is that I was trying to say. And I used analogies within what I was trying to say because that got your attention. And then they're like, oh, okay. And I said, go watch the whole YouTube video. And they said, no, I don't want to go watch the whole YouTube video if this is a 1 minute clip. And it's like, you've now got to accept their fucking stupidity. And you've got to appreciate if you didn't do anything and you let their stupidity come into your space. And that's just become the world. That's really just become the world that you've got to be okay with their stupidity in your space.
So I'll tell you a few things. So I think it's unacceptable that we have to accept other people's stupidity. Now, I think what has happened over probably the last 10 years, you know, we were all nice. We all thought being woke made sense, compassionate, social capital, help the world, and all that stuff. And I believe
Circular
that a lot of people,
economies.
all that, and I think that a lot of people took advantage of our niceness. And people started looking around and going, this is bullshit. This is nonsense. And I think what has happened as a result of that, it's kind of like a balloon that pops, is you have people like Andrew Tate that has come in with this alpha mentality. And I think that people are starting to go, hell yeah, brother. You know, they're going, you know, it's like the mob. Now the mob mentality is kicking in. Damn right, sister. You know, I don't want to be nice anymore. I'm pissed off. I think people are pissed off. And they want the alpha. People are ready for alpha, boy. Ready. I think people are ready for alpha. I think the world is ready for alpha. They are tired of the nonsense. They are tired of the wokeness. This is not what got Jan van Riebeck to sail across the world. Wokeness, no. He set sail, and you know what he said when he was waving goodbye? He said, I have no idea what he said. I'll come up with what he said. He said, "You'll be sorry."
He probably said something like, "You guys stay here. I'm going to go find something." And the man did. But also, Adi,
You know what
it's
he said
become
when he went with the ship? You can keep your deposit.
Yeah. You're never getting this ship back. But you know what, Adi? But now you've got this certain extremism now. Okay, I agree with you, right? You had the woke era, the let's drink almond tea and gluten is the devil and we should accept everybody's everything. And if a guy is walking barefoot on the street, we should still fund him billions of dollars. You know, the guy that started WeWork, he was fucking batshit crazy and whatever. Somehow, out of the wokeness era, the man just happened to plug into it, and everybody thought his weirdness, craziness is actually cute. And let's throw money at this
The
guy. And
future.
if I'm correct, they lost billions, not a couple thousands, billions, believing in this lunatic. And at one stage, you had that side of the spectrum. Now you got the Andrew side of the spectrum, and a lot of people don't actually know who Andrew Tate really is. They don't realize that he's one of the guys that started the whole OnlyFans era. So obviously it's in his favor to be demeaning to women because he benefits from more people's jumping onto treating women like objects and the selling of courses and all of this era. So he's not a solution. That guy's not a solution. He's also batshit crazy on this side, and previously you had batshit crazy on that side. So there seems to be no normality in the middle. There absolutely seems to be no normality of people trying to just be decent human beings in the middle. And going back to what I said earlier is, as much as I do not appreciate people's stupidity in my space and their opinionation of their stupidity, because they are so negative in their 24/7 that they feel like everything you do must have a negative twist based on their perspective and their narrative must come into it. And they're often the same people that have the whole "I don't care what people think about me" attitude. Meanwhile, they want to tell the whole world what everybody thinks about them. It's like, you said you don't care what anyone thinks of you, so go sit down and shut up and stop telling everybody else what you think of them. Just play the game the same, and you fundamentally got that there does not seem to be a middle. You've got
Go Oscar Kiva. Go. Daddy's busy. Go. Okay, go boy. Daddy's coming now, okay?
Get my dummy right now.
You know, when a child wants their dummy, for
get my
anyone who's
dummy
not a
right
parent,
now.
like, I promise you it is, I want my dummy. My boy, please leave that. Go Oscar Kiva to give you your
Get
dummy.
my
Go,
dummy right
tell
now.
him,
But you
tell
know
him
what?
Daddy
You
says you. Go boy.
know what? In short, Adi, there seems to be no middle. And going back to what I said earlier about that, about what I realized the other day. And maybe this was my little bit of like trying to be someone in the middle of, I'm not an extreme wokist and I'm not an extreme Andrew Tate guy, which I do agree. Andrew Tate does have some good points and some of the woke people do have some good points, but there's no need for the extremism that's going on both sides. And in my situation where I actually decided that I regret doing nice things for this specific person. And in that moment, realizing how many people must actually feel that same way about me, that they must regret doing nice things for me. I chose, not out of my shouting at them that I don't need your stupidity in my space, and out of my trying to be too cute, is that I realized that if the forgiveness that I give this individual can somehow go through me to this individual, it is not a weakness. It is an actual sign of strength, being able to let go of that. If people have done you wrong and you allow yourself to have peace within that, they don't have control over you. They don't own you further on, because people are going to do you wrong. I've got people doing me wrong. You've seen my Muppet list. I scratched off everybody on my Muppet list to purely put one guy on it, because I have never in the 40 years of being on this planet ever dealt with a Muppet to this extent that this individual is. And the reason I've put it here is not because I have any kind of hatred towards the man, because I did for a while, and I realized that my disliking of him gave him more power over me. And the reason I purely put that there now, and I scratched out everybody else, is to always remember that if people do you wrong, get over it. Forgive it. If you don't forgive it, it actually hurts you twice. What they did to you hurts you, and your ability to not let it go will carry on hurting you. And it's also a phenomenal thing I saw the other day, and it comes perfect in line with us talking about what you did for your kids and you took them hiking the other day, is that I actually saw a video the other day, is that a guy, and this is such an amazing thing, what he said. He said the day that you become a parent, you have to let go of the life that you were not given as a child. Because if you go digging into the life that you wish that you had, and you have that anger and animosity towards that, you wish that you had the amazing life that looked amazing in the movies as a child, you're always going to be bitter, and you're never going to be truly able to give your children the life that they deserve. And that is phenomenal. That was one of the greatest things that I ever saw. And I think that happened just before I had this situation with this guy, where I realized that as much as I regret ever doing anything for this individual, I will forgive it. And I hope in my heart that other people will forgive me for the times that I disappointed and I hurt them, because forgiveness is an actual strength. Forgiveness is not a weakness. And you've got to forgive the things that people have done to you. You've got to forgive the childhood that you never got to have, that might affect the childhood that you can give your children. And you've got to forgive the people in business that do harm you, because if you're stuck on what they did to you, you are going to carry that into almost every other business relationship that you have, every relationship you have with friends, because you never forgave a friend, or you never got the amazing toys as a child. Therefore, you now have this hurt in your heart. You got to let it go. You genuinely have just got to let it go, and not on the basis of that you're woke, because you're trying to be cute and you're trying to be nice to the whole world. So you've got to let it go. And not on the basis of the Andrew Tate extremism, alpha male, because caring is for weak people. But you've got to have a genuine consideration for your well-being inside, that some stage you got to realize that you just have to let it go. You have to let go of whatever people have harmed you with. Because if you don't drop that, you're going to carry that weight way after even them. They're going to forget about what they did to you while you're still hurting about it and you're still upset about it. And I think that was like my little breakthrough moment the other day, because when I was looking at this guy and I was thinking of telling him, You must have been the stupid kid at school that the teacher sent notes home with every single day stuck on his forehead. That was literally, I swear, because you know me, I'm witty with my insults when I want to tell people intelligence has been chasing you your whole life, but for some reason you seem to be faster. You know, I always have these witty ways of telling people they're stupid. And I swear it almost came out of my mouth that I almost told this guy, you must have been one of the kids in school that the teacher would send notes home with stuck on his forehead. And I actually thought, you know what? I forgive this idiot and let him go and figure it out that he's a half-wit on his own. It was quite a breakthrough in my life. It was amazing.
Yeah, I think forgiveness is always easier said than done. And it's something that is healthy, and we should all try to do that. What's quite nice is out of sight, out of mind. So if somebody's done us wrong, as long as we don't see them all the time, we can eventually stop thinking about it. And I think on the topic of idiots, I think that one of the greatest realizations any of us can make is that there are a lot of idiots in this world. And a lot of those idiots carry phenomenal university degrees. Okay. And they make out as if they are smarter and more righteous because they have this university degree. And I think that has nothing to do with whether somebody is idiotic or not. And I think the key is, once you understand that there's a lot of idiots in this world, I think the key is to treat people with love and respect. Okay. I'm not talking about like clients or people we work with or anything like that. I'm just saying, just like people in general. When it comes to clients and people we work with, we in general only want to work with clients that treat us in a certain way. Like, you don't want to drop the ball on a project. So you don't want to take on a client that, you speak to them and they don't make sense. Because if they're not going to make sense, the project's going to bomb. They're not going to want to pay. They're not going to want to pay for the service or the product, and they're going to blame you anyway. So generally, we don't pick up idiotic clients. We only pick up amazing clients. We do choose our clients these days. We're not forced to. We have said no to people. Then when it comes to people you work with, generally, obviously, if you're the decision maker, you're not going to bring anybody in that says anything idiotic. And you should have quite a good filter before they actually join the business. When it comes to just the world in general, the world around us, is once you understand that somebody displays idiotic tendencies, is to then not treat them with the respect of somebody who's not an idiot. And that's very
Truth.
important, because quite often I find that people know that somebody is an idiot, but then like they're having a conversation, the person will say something and they'll actually like listen, almost as if that person's opinion has any value whatsoever. And
You know,
that's
it's almost
wrong.
like, no,
Like
for
if
me just to
somebody,
jump in. Yeah, I've got an actual good one. When I got to Dubai, there was one specific guy in our building that my cousin would never talk to nicely. And I always kept saying, poor guy, why do you not talk to this guy nicely? And he said to me, just wait, just wait. And I kept thinking, no, man, be nice to people until they, you know me and the whole be nice to people until they do something stupid. And then you can treat them like stupid. And I swear on my life, my cousin couldn't have hit the nail more on the head. What I listened to with the things that this guy did. So in turn of what you're saying is that I agree with you. You know, it's when you do know that somebody is not of a higher intellectual level, do not treat them as such, especially in a
yeah,
business manner. And, and do not give him his dummy.
yeah, exactly. Is you can't treat people with the respect when they haven't earned the respect, and especially when they've come across as idiotic. You have to actually draw the line and say, you go stand over there. We're having an adult conversation.
That's the truth. And you try your best. You try and involve them in things. And then you actually get to see it. And another thing that I've realized in my life is that I will always put together my calculations of how it is I want things to run. And I will always have somebody, and I'm saying in a business sense, somebody that I will delegate to the T what it is that my calculations are. They will have their own opinion and their own approach to it. And as soon as something goes wrong, all of a sudden I've got to now jump back in and fix everything. And it almost becomes the situation where one of the guys, the same guy that I'm talking of, I swear on my life, this guy cannot lead and he cannot follow. I have no idea where on this planet to put this guy, Adi, because he cannot lead the show. Because even if you delegate to him 1, 2, 3, 4, by number 3, he's done something and he's messed up 4, and you've got to come back in and fix number 3 and try explain to him how to now do 3 and 4. So he cannot follow nothing that you give this guy. And if you give this guy free will, you're not even going to get 1, 2. Forget about 3 and 4. And I have no idea where on this planet to put this guy. No idea.
I think I hear you. I hear you. I think the last thing I want to say today, respect must be earned. Okay? If you want to interact with me where I absorb, like, I'm happy to have conversations with people and be nice to them. That doesn't mean I respect them. That doesn't mean I respect their opinion. That doesn't mean that I'm completely absorbing what they're saying. It just means I'm being nice to somebody that I don't really know. But if you truly want me to absorb what you are saying to me, I need to respect you. And that respect is earned.
Yeah, but that's a given. That's an old school mentality approach. That's not the way that things are approached these days. Everyone has just got opinions about everything. Everyone is telling everyone how little they care if people accept their things, but they want everyone to accept their way, and it's all this thing. And, the other day I actually had a chat with somebody and I said, I do not get as many likes and follows for these things that I do, these chats that we have, as we used to, because I have certain things that did go viral once upon a time. And now that we're doing these things on like a higher, more deeper level where we are calling out people and we are calling people stupid and we are calling certain behavioral patterns dumb and we are trying to do these things, people are not liking it. And I actually had this chat with a guy and I said, we do not get as many as we used to. And he said to me, it's because your followers are now on a higher level of intelligence. And you are not amongst those masses of the dumb people entertaining other dumb people. So the dumb people are not even understanding what it is that you guys are saying, exactly like what I posted the other day, what we were trying to say about what freedom and happiness is, about being able to buy pizza at any given time you want. Their only thing was that they just weren't clicking that we were using the pizza as an analogy. They were just thinking a pizza is only 90 Rand. How could you consider that as some sort of like an achievement in life? We weren't talking about a pizza. We were talking about that if I get off this show with Adi right now and I want to go buy a Ferrari, I can, but I don't want to. But that's the sense of what the message that we were trying to say. So we've gotten to this point where our talks no longer appeal to the dumb people. And unfortunately, the dumb people are the masses. And our followers and the people that do like us are the people that are at a higher intellectual level.
I think I think that
it's become
if people
very
are
interesting.
listening, the problem is the penny has dropped. The problem is, if you've been offended by what we're saying, we probably think you're dumb.
So it's pretty much it. We
Do you know,
we
do you know
think
what I
you're
mean?
dumb.
Like, okay, that's it. So you're sitting there going, actually,
We are
but
those
I
dumb
am
people.
offended. Oh my
You
God, they
are those
think
dumb
I'm dumb.
people. You
My
are
God.
those dumb people that we are speaking about. And we are not getting your likes and your views because we're trying our absolute best to try and talk about smart things, and we are in dear hope, like a deer caught in the headlights, in hope that you would learn from the smart things and you would walk away and have something smart to want to do with your life.
But I'm
But
going.
no,
I'm gonna add to it. I'm gonna add to what I just said by saying that. But you need to understand. As much as I think they are dumb, other people that
no,
listen to
we
me
idiots. Yeah,
think
they
that
think we're
I'm
retards.
dumb. So,
No,
so what
plenty
I'm saying
do.
is, some people think you're dumb and some people think you're clever, exactly the same as some people think I'm dumb and some people think I'm clever. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm fine. That's okay. I don't mind that some people think I'm dumb because you know what? According to how they see the world, dumb shit comes out of my mouth. I'm okay with that. That's fine. I get it. That's all right because we are not the yin and the yang, my friend. That should be hanging. That's fine. So if some people think I'm dumb, some people think I'm smart, whatever, I'm okay with that. That's fine. You can't please everybody all the time. So
Or
there it
go sell
is.
ice cream. You want to
Or
please
go sell
everybody,
ice cream.
go and sell ice cream. And
Why
if
does
you
the guy
don't,
that sells the ice cream? Does everybody like them?
yeah, it's a saying that if you want people to like you, sell ice cream, because the ice cream man is known as the guy that makes everyone happy. Because nobody dislikes
Amazing.
ice cream.
What a
I can't
fascinating
think of any.
concept.
I actually can't think of anyone that dislikes ice cream because it's like a weird thing to dislike. Because even from a kid,
Yeah,
the
but sounds for the oak trying to get a sleep Sunday afternoon, and he's trying to sleep, and then he hears the ice cream guy come past making that racket, and he's like, I hate that guy. Always wakes me up.
and then he goes and gets ice cream from him because he's good, because he
And
sells
then
him
he's
ice
like, I
cream.
may as well
So
buy ice cream. How much do
I
those
might
ice
as
creams
well.
cost these days? What do they charge?
I don't know.
25
I
Rand?
haven't, I haven't seen an ice cream van, but
For a
on the
soft
beaches
serve?
there.
What do you think it cost
Nah,
them to make that? With the
oh,
petrol,
no.
7 Rand?
If Reza was in the show now, because this is his game of the procurement and the food industry, he's told me these things come in the sachets and the milk and all of that. It's like maybe 2 rand to make something that they
Really?
sell at a
Okay.
McDonald's for like 30 rand these days. A
Okay.
soft
So
serve is at least about.
if you're lucky, the car itself is battery powered, rechargeable, and then you're not paying for the petrol.
Yeah, I don't think those guys exist anymore. I think you're gonna get the McDonald's ones, and you're gonna get the guy on the beach that's selling you lollies for your dolly. Granadilla
Although
dolly, and
The McDonald's soft serve was my favorite. I
yeah,
mean, I don't need it anymore, but I used to go, can you please put the caramel at the bottom, ice cream, caramel in the middle, more ice cream, and caramel on top? That's the way I used to roll, my friend.
yeah, and I'm sure they must have loved that. So you're like the client that goes and gets the garlic steak, but please no garlic, and make and make this and make my steak vegan. Adi, you've got your kid to deal with tonight.
We're gonna run, my friend. Here comes the cat as
I think
well. Full
I think
house.
we've had our run. We've had our rant for the week. I had my spiritual moment this week of thinking that I do regret doing nice things for certain people, but within me, I will forgive because I am 100% sure that certain people feel that way about me. And it's not because I'm woke and it's not because I'm an alpha male, but because fundamentally, when you forgive, you actually move on with life, and you got to get over it. You've just got to get over it. And like you said, some people are going to think we're dumb, and we think they're dumb, and they can place us in boxes where they will talk to us like we're dumb, and we will place them in boxes where we think they're dumb. And we're not going to get all the followers and likes of the world, like back in the days when I used to say dumb things and be all cute and stuff and go viral. We just appealing to a higher intellectual level, and that's that. And Adi needs to now go sort out the dummy for the kid. And guys, always remember, if you dislike us, think about what you did first. Check what you
100%,
did
or you're
first.
gonna get a crack.
Or you're going to, like Mike Tyson used to say, everybody's got a plan until I punch them in the face.
Exactly.
Never forget Mike Tyson. Never
See you
forget.
later, San Francisco.
See you later, Adi. Cheers.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.